Russia hit a Ukrainian military base just 11 miles from Poland. This is the closest the airstrikes have been to a NATO country since the war began. And Ukraine is reporting that Russian forces shot and killed an American and wounded another. Award-winning journalist and filmmaker Brent Renaud was killed in a suburb of Kyiv. And new this morning, U.S. officials saying that Russia is asking China for military aid, which will likely be discussed at a critical meeting between the U.S. and China today. We have our NewsNation teams in Washington, New York, and Ukraine, and that's where we begin our coverage right now with Robert Sherman. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. Lots of moving parts on the diplomatic front. You have the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia happening today as well. And as you mentioned, there has, according to the two sides, been some progress made in those talks over the last couple of weeks. Still at this moment in a stalemate. But now we're starting to see other countries around Europe get involved diplomatically as well.
Over the weekend, Russian missiles once again raining down further west than they ever have before.
The sky was very orange in fire.
Their target, a military training base in Yavoriv. 35 people were killed. More than 130 are injured. That facility had been serving as a hub for cooperation between Ukraine and the NATO countries, a route and port for Western military aid to Ukraine. But Russia's ruthless reputation showing once again in its strategic strikes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky repeating his plea to NATO countries once more.
And now I repeat again, if you do not close our sky, it's only a matter of time before Russian missiles fall on your territory, NATO territory, on the homes of citizens of NATO countries.
Meanwhile, the president continues to be on the ground, seen here visiting injured troops. For now, another major effort underway is getting a humanitarian aid convoy to its destination, Mariupol. Mariupol has been under siege and much of the city is without power and water. The Red Cross is warning that the thousands of residents still left are facing a worst-case scenario. Fighting and landmines have prevented other attempts to deliver aid.
And what we've been seeing here on the ground is that the main concern from a lot of officials here is if these humanitarian corridors can be opened, especially the cities such as Mariupol, not only to get people out, but the Red Cross says that they need help getting more supplies in to some of those war-torn areas as well. Adrienne?
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.